Get them Terry.
What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy, Crap Gamer 720, and it's the weekly Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. Next Gen, a little under the weather, sucking too much dick, but I'm here. He is here, but he's just gonna, not gonna be able to talk as much. Gonna have to maybe take some uppers or something to get going.
Yeah.
What's up, Next Gen?
What's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. There is actually a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Tonight. You got a sore throat, man.
A lot of topics.
Yeah. We got K Mega. What's up, bro?
What's up, fam? What's happening? Always happy to be here.
Hell yeah. And we have a guest sitting in tonight. Cool dude. I actually did a podcast with him. Man, must have been probably over a year and a half ago or so.
It was like last summer, yeah.
Yeah, fucking forever ago. Yeah, pretty cool dude. What's up, Sanir, right?
It's Sinar, but
Sinar, sorry. Yeah, I'll get that shit right eventually, man. Sinar, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to join. Thanks for the invite, everybody. Thank you.
No problem, man. You're a little history on you is you game on pretty much everything. I think you have a slight preference to Xbox, right?
Oh yeah.
And your wife, I think she was on the podcast too, and she PC games mostly, but she plays a little bit of everything too, right?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. And just so you guys know, in the BGST world out there is something that I am going to announce. It's kind of big. It's something we've never done before. People would probably never think in a million years that we would fucking do. And I went to it with Zaire and Tim. And Tim was like, hell yeah. And Zaire's like, bro, I trust you, man. Whatever you do, man. And I was like, all right, man. I wouldn't lead you guys astray, man. I think this is a good idea if it comes off right. So I think it'll be fucking awesome. But I do want to kind of kick off tonight and talk about something. What do you guys think about this possibility? And I did a video on this. Now, keep in mind, I don't really think that the Xbox Scorpio is going to launch in August, right? But I can give you a fucking hell of a fucking reasons why, right? Okay. And the main reason would be this is not a next generation console, supposedly.
Right.
Why they launched the S in August of last year. So why would they not launch the Scorpio in August of this year, right? And not only that, if you go back and read this Middle Earth Shadow of War developer who was talking about it, this is exactly what he says, and I quote, We've been launch games on next-gen systems since the Xbox 360. Launch titles don't scare us at all. And Shadow of War is launching in August, and he says they're a launch title. So that would possibly lead you to believe that this game could possibly come out and coincide as a launch title with the Scorpio. But with even that being said, Microsoft is going to get their butt kicked in NPD until the Scorpio launches. Okay. So, just with the idea that this game and the developer has said launch title for Scorpio, it's the first confirmed one. The S launched in August as well. Anything can happen. I just think that maybe they've said they're ahead of schedule. I don't know. What is your thought?
Real quick, what I think, I think it'd be weird. So we got the new Shadow game coming out in August. Why would you promote the Scorpio so heavily for that? Because technically, I guess you could say that was the first official game announced for the Scorpio, I guess. I mean, Crackdown 3, etc. But they're promoting this, even though they have the promotion rights. But I think it could launch in August because, like I said, why promote that? Why promote it for the Scorpio if you're going to launch the console 4 months later?
Yeah. I think that it's perfectly plausible. Z, what do you think about that? I mean,
I think that this is going to come out Black Friday-ish because there's not many games that come out in the summertime. Of course, you do have Shadow Mordor, but you're going to get your duties, your Star Wars Battlefronts to Destiny. That's going to truly, showcase what the console can do, So I think they're going to probably stick to around holidays. You know how Microsoft makes their big push Black Friday, Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. See, I really thought also real quick, if they launch it in August, I mean, even like you guys say, it's not a full new console. So if they launch it in August, that gives them September, October, November, December to push just the games instead of pushing Crackdown, these games along with the console. It just seems like let's kind of like what they're doing with E3. Let's get the Scorpio let's have a little event for the Scorpio before E3, get that out of the way, then show the games. If they launch it in August, then that gives them the entire fall time, a holiday, to just focus on the games, show the difference, et cetera, and said, hey, we have a new Scorpio, but we also have these games, et cetera, back and forth. I don't know. That's just what I think.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, this is another thing that's
okay. I'm sorry. Listen, okay. Everybody went to the August, but what is not a lot of games to really showcase what the console can do. You know what I mean? Because for us the core, we're gonna get it. Hey, happening, but the casuals, they're gonna really market it. You got the duties, the Star Wars Battlefronts. The summertime is a very, very dry when it comes to gaming. Which all you have is Madden and that's it. No, you don't really have too many AAA.
Native 4K Madden.
It is really hard. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I was going to make right there was that, that Microsoft has a partnership with Madden. Mm-hmm. That would be perfect because Madden comes out the same time around when Shadows of Mordor comes out. And let's not forget that Forza 7 is going to come out in September. So that's another title. So you got 3 titles plus. I think that when Destiny comes out, I think it's going to come out around the same time that it came out last time, which was in September. Yeah. So if you put everything into the space, August is perfect because you don't have to worry about any competition. Right. It gives you plenty of time, because just look what happened with the Xbox One S and how it, and how everybody just gravitated to it right after E3. It gives people plenty of time to save up their money. That's already people that's already saved. And last, it's just like what New Cat said. It's just not, what I'm saying? I still got to get his name. I got to get his name.
Oh, New Cat. Yeah. Mason's fine.
but they don't have to, promote the hardware. It's already out there, and then they can promote the games with Crackdown, and then you're going to have Sea of Thieves that's going to be out sometime around that time as well. We don't have a really actual release date for that, which it might be in September as well.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You could have, and again, I had heard a long time ago that they were going to go for a November 17th, which is a Friday 2017 launch. That makes the most sense to me. But again, you can make this argument very compelling to release it in August. Ray Beretta tweets out on Twitter, Xbox One S dominated September, October, November after it launched in August. Remember, they won the NPD overall for the last 6 months of the year thanks to the S. Right? They sold more Xbox One S's than PS4s sold. So it might make sense. From that perspective, you can show off Crackdown 3 in 4K 60. You can show off Forza 7 in 4K 60. Not only that, but you're going to have the retrofitted games, which will lead us into this other topic that I want to talk about, which is these 4K 60 frames per second games. And I did a video on this, and I think you did one too, Z.
Yes.
This is what I heard, and again, not bullshit. I heard this from 2 different people. These were some GDC demos and stuff like that. Non-UWP games on Xbox One S or Xbox One, and these were demoed on Scorpio at native 4K. Fallout 4, Witcher 3, Battlefield 1, Doom, and Halo 5. In addition to some UWP games, that the exclusives that are also native 4K 60 frames, which was Recore, Gears of War 4, Killer Instinct, and I think I had one more, but I can't really recall what the hell it was. But Forza Apex for some reason. That was a demo. Yeah. And I think the only reason why that one was demoed was because that one was the 4K version that's on Windows 10 right now. So here's an interesting fact. Any game that's on the Windows Store that's 4K is going to be 4K on the Xbox Scorpio. Right. I mean, that's just the fact. That's the reason why the whole reason why they're doing that is
you can count pretty much first party titles too.
Yeah. Well, they've already said every first party game is going to be native 4K at on the Scorpio, but they're going to retroly go back and patch and get these games. Most of the games are UWP. Like I would expect even Quantum Break, even though I've not heard that. I would expect that to get a 4K deal because that's 4K on the Windows 10 store as well. So again, these are games, like a lot of games that are going to be running native 4K, and 60 frames per second is what I heard. So that is a hell of a thing. And somebody, I'm not going to say who, when I made that list, the original list, they're like, who the hell told you that? And I was like, I can't really say because, when people are giving you information, the one thing you don't want to do is give away his dime amount. Exactly. So they won't give you any information after that. And this is what this person says to me, and he's a developer. He goes, keep that person close to your chest. Do not share that, because that is 100% accurate information, 100%. So that's from two people that I completely trust. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts? I mean, look, these are big time games. If you look at what's going ahead, and then they can also show like the future, obviously, with Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves. I think we're going to get a Killer Instinct new season coming out as well. That's going to be 4K 60. I mean, just going forward, it's a very exciting time.
I think the biggest. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No. You're fine. I was just going to say. Now, I've heard something from a reliable source that GDC was primarily pro Xbox. That's why, if anybody's ever paid attention, that there really wasn't a lot of coverage for GDC this year. And
no, it wasn't, right.
And if you think about it, why, the media is always giving some kind of, they're saying something negative about the Scorpio, but everything that I've heard from my reliable source was basically saying everybody was in awe of the tech that the Scorpio could present. So with that being said, once these games come out and they get shown, it's going to blow everybody's mind. And then you just got to think about it. The Scorpio is nothing more but a up-resed PC. It is an upscale PC, and for the older games, when you see them pop, like let's say Bound to Flames, that's going to look beautiful. And I think that once people start seeing that, they're going to start gravitating more to the Scorpio and to Xbox, because they're going to not only have the power, they're going to have everything else in this whole huge ecosystem. I think the biggest thing is, and I know you're talking on the topic about what Phil Spencer said about the demonstrable difference. Like, really, they need to show what games look like playing now on Xbox One, PS4, or even PS4 Pro. They need to have side-by-side comparisons. I know back then Microsoft used to be really technical, have this and that. People don't like that. But I think this day and age, if they're going to have that event for the Scorpio and to live by what Phil said, they need to have Destiny running, or they'll say Halo 5. This is the Xbox One. And then just like a PowerPoint live right next to it, show what is Scorpios. They need to show what how big of the difference is. And they can't be like when the Sony showed the PS4 Pro, they had an image and then they had like the HDR, but we didn't really see side-by-side comparisons of games running on PS4 and PS4 Pro. Like, everything was either one screen and then they went to nothing was side-by-side, and that goes a long way.
Well, to take that one step further, I mentioned this yesterday. What you're saying, and then take it one step further, in Best Buys, the Target store, whatever, have whatever game, whatever big AAA multi-plat that's out, that the casual have that running on the regular Xbox One S, and then showing it running on the Project Scorpio, whatever. But even like I said, if they come out and we're gonna finally see the console at the latest June, maybe a little earlier, I don't think it'll be really 2 months, which will be like June, July, August. Be enough time to really hype it and promote it. You know what I mean? Because Mike, let's be honest, the Xbox division got a lot riding on Project Scorpio. This is they say because it's gonna bring them back. We got our teeth kicked in for the last 3 years, Resolution, Underpowered, and all that stuff. So you really think it'll be enough time to really heavily promote it? Not to us, because we know, like I said, the average Joe Smo is just going to buy the Duty, the Maddens, or what I mean?
I mean, for 3 months, I think it would. I mean, when does that Shadow come out? End of August, the 22nd? Is that what it was?
Yeah, 22nd.
So technically, that June, July. So you could say 4 months. I guess would be. But I mean, I definitely see what you're saying there. It's just weird. It would be weird to promote and I never played Shadow, the first one, but I know just from seeing you guys tweet about it, or like the game was amazing. It's just, it would bother me. Like, they're really promoting it. Aaron Greenberg, Phil, Mike, they're all promoting. It's coming out for Scorpio, yes. Then when August comes here, it's going to be like, you got to wait 3 months for the Scorpio version. It's going to be like, wait, huh?
Right. Huh? Absolutely right. That's the thing about it, that why I think it is coming out in August, because it doesn't make sense to promote this game coming out in 4K 60 frames per second, and it's going to be on the Xbox One S. That just doesn't make any sense. They have plenty of time to show everything else off, because nothing is going to start rolling until September. So bring it out in August, have 2 different tiers. Just look at it like how they did the Xbox One S. They had different SKUs. They had the cheaper SKU, they had the higher view. Then by the time that it got to October, they had the all red Xbox One S Gears of War 4 edition. So I think if Xbox goes that direction, it will be perfect because they can still promote the system and they can still show the power of the system. I think that August is perfect, man.
But
it makes sense. It makes sense. But again, I want to be on record as saying I still think it's November. But to me, you get a leg up because the Pro doesn't have as long a time on the market at that point. You know what I mean? Like it's more irrelevant than ever. They're really pushing that whole most powerful console thing with the commercials and stuff like that and the ads. Like they're really pushing it out of that. So you can cut that narrative in half. The sooner you do that, the better. Here's the thing. I was arguing with somebody on Twitter. Well, you know, like the trolls, they're like, the PS4 Pro can do native 4K. And I was like, give me current gen AAA game that does native 4K, not an indie, not a remaster. And they're like, well, the Division just got a 4K update. So sure enough, I look up and it does say it does 4K all the time. But when you look further into it, you just see the word checkerboard a lot. And there's nothing.
The PS4 Pro does native 4K like the vanilla mod of PS4 does true HDR. GTFO.
Nobody got time for no damn PS4 Pro.
I know, right?
Nobody got time for no Pro.
It's like, yeah, it does 4K. Like, yeah, okay. How's that HDR working on your original mod of PS4?
You know what? They make it ambiguous as possible, though. That's my point. So the quicker Microsoft can nip that shit in the bud, which props to them for getting out that new ad campaign that they have the only console with true 4K. Yeah, because that's going to be important going forward. And the funny thing is people are like, but this is contradictory to the white paper that they put out last E3 where it gives developers options to do other things. But here's the thing. Look into it. Ask any tech guy. Next gen, you know tech guy. D-Batch, right? Dealer. These guys are cool people. They know their shit. Even on Xbox Nation with GKB Hellhammer, they know their shit. It's more work to do checkerboarding and sparse rendering than just putting your fucking game in native 4K. It's more work.
Even the Delilah HD, they say the same things, and they work in that type of field. So even the guy from DICE shitted on the whole aspect of checkerboarding. He just said that it takes too much time. These developers already are pressed for time. It doesn't make any sense to try to make something that's only slightly powerful. The Scorpio is more powerful. That's the great thing about it, man. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited, man. Please. And then also, let me make this point. The just like how the Xbox One S kind of threw in a Scorpio announcement through PlayStation in a loop, if you bring the Scorpio out in August, they're going to go get thrown into another blender again because of the fact that they have to drop the price. And if they're anticipating to drop the price in November, they bring it out in August. That means that they might have to do it earlier, and that's going to make them scramble.
I really don't think Sony's going to drop the price of the Pro because they're
going to drop it.
They better.
I can see them drop. Also, I think it depends on price.
I expect the Scorpio to be $500.
I was thinking the same thing, Zaire. I was thinking the same thing.
They might push it to $449. I have a feeling. But from what I'm hearing about the CPU, which I did a video on that, somebody sent me some stuff, and again, I sent this out. People, I mentioned it on Twitter, and I had a bunch of people hitting me up like, "You just do a video." So I was like, "All right, this is a rumor video, but a co-developed CPU with Microsoft to keep costs down a little bit." But still, the whole reason, according to this email sent out by Microsoft, was they need a beast of a CPU, and that's not their word, beast of a CPU. That's me paraphrasing. The reason why they need this is because they want to offer high fidelity VR, and to do that, you will need to have the frames per second up to par, and you have to do really good frames per second. So high fidelity, which is the opposite of PlayStation VR, if you're running Oculus or Vive or whatever, you're talking really solid graphics with a really solid frame rate, and it has to be, I think, at least 60 frames per second. So that's the reason also to be able to. Xbox Scorpio apparently isn't going to do native Xbox One games because it doesn't have ESRAM. It's going to be emulating, and that tells you how powerful it is. Like emulating.
That was weird. Wow.
Yeah, emulating Xbox One games. So that's like, it's phenomenal. That like this thing is a complete beast. And the funny thing is, it's easy to go, well, is it a new generation thing? I don't know. It's going to be called Xbox One something. And again, I had this kind of discussion with somebody, not an argument because he's actually a cool dude, but he's like, I bet you they bury the One name. And I'm like, here's the most telling reason why it's going to be Xbox One such and such, right? Because it's going to be the same games. You're going to go to the store and you're going to buy Xbox One games, and they're going to work in this, right? They're not going to be called Xbox Fantasia or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's Xbox One. It's the same fucking disc. It's the same box. Xbox One on the box. That's what it says. So it's going to be Xbox One, whatever. You know.
I know. For the biggest thing on that price,
Scorpio
if anything. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. You're right. But as far as the box, because the Xbox One, that's the biggest. As far as Microsoft, I mean, not a segment of the community, but maybe they might say Scorpio supported or will support Scorpio.
Like a top on like a little tab.
The console.
Better with Scorpio, like better with Kinect.
Whatever. I definitely think at the bottom. For that price though, the most I was thinking is 600. But here's
that's suicide.
I'm shooting for like the craziest scenario I could see it going for 6, namely on the fact, and if it's for that price, sorry PC Master Race, but you guys are gonna have a shitstorm coming. If that console is $600 and it does what it's saying, you guys are gonna be running for the fucking hills. Man.
Well, hey, imagine this, right? Mason, imagine that it's $449 and it does that.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're talking a controller, a 4K console, a 4K Blu-ray player. Like that's shit. I mean, that to me is just absolutely phenomenal value, and I think that Microsoft is doing a couple of things right now. When you hear Phil Spencer talk, I think he's trying to position himself so that Sony doesn't have too much information. I think they like it when people think the thing's going to be $700, right? They like that because for the same reason that Sony let people speculate on the PlayStation VR price, right? Because remember, people were like, it's going to be $899, $999, it's got to be $699, right? Why did they like this? Because when you come out with a $499 or $399 just for the headset alone, it doesn't sound as bad, right? So when you have people all hyping up $799, $699, and they come out with maybe a $449 or even $499 price point, that sounds much better. Right?
It does, but let me make this point. I said this earlier today, that if it still has a bad taste in people's mouth about the Xbox being $500 at the beginning of this generation, and the only thing that was really basically the reason it was $500 was because of the Kinect. Now I understand that this system is a lot more efficient. The thing of it is that I think to generate more buzz is to go ahead and take that L and have the price affordable. That's why I think it should have SKUs. I think it'll give you the option of like, if it's $399, you'll go ahead and the people that are cheaper, they'll go ahead and they'll gravitate to, they'll jump to it. People like us, they'll go ahead and if they have a $500 price point with that, I'm on the 500 because I want it all. I want every damn bit of it. I want all the juicy bits. See, but that's the thing that I think Microsoft has got to go ahead and take that L and eat that price right now for the benefit of the survival.
But is $500 too much though? I mean, so we pay $500 for the Xbox?
Yeah, to a lot of people, because you got to think about this. This is the reason why the Pro hasn't sold very well. It's sold average to below average because it's not only confused the PlayStation fan base, but it also people still have the thought concept that the Scorpio is going to be is the same as the Pro, and it's not. It's way more powerful. So while Microsoft can get the one up is by saying, look, we are legitimately thinking about you. We're giving you a premium product at a cheap ass price to where
$500 that is cheap.
Yeah, exactly. That is real. Yeah, 500, but then yet you got to think about the people out there. There's something that even Porter Rock says that I have to agree with.
Now, we got a console for you. That's the Xbox One S.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Gamers are fickle. Some gamers are cheap, man. There's people that red box. You know what I'm saying? Mostly primary PlayStation people, but still. You know what I'm saying? But you have that price, $400 price. I hear even PlayStation people saying, you know what? I'm gonna have to cop that Scorpio.
Well, especially, I mean, if they do announce that it does have a 4K HD, a 4K player in it. Here's the thing now, and I've been hearing some rumors that I don't know if you guys saw them. So just like how Xbox One S, there was what was available first, the 1 terabyte, and then later on it was the 500 and the 200 or something like that.
I think was it the 2 terabyte one first or something like that?
So what if I tell you what, I think this happened last year when the rumors came out that Microsoft was going to make a diskless Xbox One S, but that didn't pan out. I really think And they're the only people that have the numbers to prove it. No one in the gaming community does. Only the people close to cards and Microsoft, like Aaron, Phil, everyone on the team know how digital is doing. What if they come out with a discless, digital-only Xbox Scorpio, which could be like there, that could be $400. And then if you want a disc one, have that release in October with a disc drive for $450 for $50 more.
You know why? Because they still need GameStop to push this shit.
No, man, they don't need.
I don't know. I don't know.
Look, hey, I'll give you guys a little bit of gaming history because I'm quite up to date with that, right? You know what happened to Sega? One of the reasons why they fucked up was because back when the Saturn launched, they at I believe CES, or it might have been E3, right? And they just go, okay, we have the Saturn and it's available today, right? Well, guess what? They left out a shit ton of retailers off that shipment. So a lot of these retailers didn't get it, and they weren't even in on it. So from that point on, they refused to carry Sega products. If Microsoft were to do something like that, I think you would see GameStop not carry their shit. And they already have a fickle relationship with GameStop because they're doing Game Pass and some of these other things, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, if honestly, somebody said it when the EA Access came out, nobody but EA knew the success of EA Access. EA said what they say last year, like 50% or like 48% of their entire sales of 2015 came from like EA Access or something like that. I might be wrong. Obviously, and I saw somebody said if them coming out with Xbox Game Pass, they must see the trend that digital is picking up a lot faster than what these minority people say on the internet. I mean, I know, Crap, you like disc. You know, you said you'll stick with this as long as you can because of internet connection. But obviously, if Microsoft has the internal data, like, man, our digital revenue is increasing every month. So obviously, there is the market there. And I don't know, GameStop's on its way out. As far as they go.
I agree. Look, I think maybe that's something you can do down the line. But the reason why they can't at first, because this thing's supposed to be backwards compatible with all your game discs and stuff like that. And they're going to want to not confuse. Here's the biggest problem facing them, not confusing people. Because remember how bad the Xbox One confused people. Hell, we didn't even know. And people to this day still think it doesn't play used games when it always could play used games. It's just only certain like shops would be able to do that because it had to like give you a key or whatever. I mean, it was kind of a hassle or whatever, but or people thought it was like constantly connected. Like you could have it not connected for a certain amount of time and still play your games. You know what I mean? But as gamers, we're probably like, I never play games if I'm not connected anyway, because your shit doesn't show up then. So it's like, you know, your trophies, your achievements, they don't show up. You can't get your patches. So that stuff's all completely irrelevant to me. Like that whole thing was overblown, but it would have been something else. I always say that. Had it not been that DRM stuff, it would have been something else. And if it's not that, then it's something else. So Microsoft has to tread very carefully with what they talk about and what they announce, because people are ready to pounce and hate on them at a moment's notice.
Even in this climate today, I don't think the casual, not the core, us, that they're ready for a discless excellent. Plus, they're already hyping up the 4K Blu-ray player. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't think you're right. Yeah,
I think they would.
People like options.
Throw that theory out the window. I completely forgot about that.
yeah. People like options, man. That's the whole thing that I stand behind. The difference between the Pro and the Xbox One S is because of the options that they give to the fans or to the customer. And if they do take that away, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth, and it leaves them as hypocrites because they just advertised it.
So, yeah. Well, for me, again, I just think that it's not time. You can't confuse people. Like when Billy's mom goes and gets you a console or whatever, whoever you want to get the disc.
Buy that motherfucker a Switch. I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not? Everybody else is, right. That thing's the best-selling Nintendo console in America's ever, best launch ever. So I mean, that thing is like absolutely phenomenal. Like just absolutely phenomenal. Like who would have guessed that, right, Z? Oh wait, I did.
No. The exact words were it was the best launch in several years.
No. Reggie said that it was the best. After 5 days, it was the best launch ever for them in North America.
Right.
When has Nintendo been a world beater? The Wii didn't do that.
Oh,
great.
the Wii, yeah, it did. The Wii
one. Man, I was working at GameStop when the Wii came out, man. That shit, people foaming for that shit.
Yeah, that's a serious thing, man. Hey Z, hey, for your thoughts of thinking that this Switch was not going to sell, I just got one thing for you.
No, I said we're going to be visiting this conversation. No, I said that we're going to be visiting this conversation in 6 months. Everything sells at launch. The Wii U sold out at launch. You're going to revisit this conversation in 6 months, and I guarantee you.
Well, no, I agree.
Honestly, I can't see the Switch hanging. I know you guys. I think you guys were talking about summertime. I don't know. My opinion. I think the Switch should have delayed it until holiday. But I'm wrong because the numbers are proving it. That obviously they have the biggest launch so far. But will have lasting power. Can it survive that summer? I mean, what they got? Mario Kart. No, Splatoon. That's coming out in June.
Somebody buy this man a coffee. You're very intelligent. Thank you.
You know, I mean, summertime's dry. I mean, a lot of people say, no, it's not summer. Like, here's the thing. The biggest fact I use for summertime being dry, when they released Metal Gear Solid 4 in July. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Metal Gear Solid 4 for PS3. That sold great for a week. And then, like, the next week, I think some game came out in Japan and, like, just wiped the floor with Metal Gear Solid. It's summertime. It's just, that's kind of a death trap to release a game like Splatoon. That's big in the Nintendo community. But I'm just really, honestly, I don't know. I think they should have just held off because and whether people might agree with me or not, if they would have delayed the Switch till holiday with Mario Odyssey and Zelda and Xenogears 2, all those games, game over, folks. Nintendo would have won holiday.
Yeah. They probably would have. I'm not going to dispute that, but if PlayStation is bringing out God of War, then you got Xbox bringing out Crackdown.
Well, it's God of War confirmed for this year.
Well,
I've heard it. I've heard that that's their like the Scorpio counter Scorpio or something.
Yeah.
If they honestly, if not, that's fucking big. If they got God of War for,
well, no, it is big, but then it leaves PlayStation in a weird position because they don't really have anything supposed to be coming out next year. So I think they're going to do it because that's the only thing that they have left to play against the Scorpio. And so if Nintendo deals and stuff, and you also got to think about this: Mario is coming as well, so that's going to be big. Mario's going to be big, but I do agree with Z to a certain extent. I think what I'm upset about with the Switch is that I'm hearing that there's a lot of hardware issues with it, and that's really not the Nintendo norm. You know, hardware is always.
Did you guys see that video on YouTube? It's like 12 minutes. I know it's a compilation, but all the different defaults going with the Switch here. And then I love how, I mean, I like Nintendo, but on their official site they say blacked out pixels, dead pixels, and they say that it's a normal. I'm like, listen, that it could be a normal in the technical sense, but kiss my fucking ass if I'm gonna go to you and you're gonna tell me that. You better give me a brand new console, man.
I gotta tell you what. When I first bought my PSP years ago, I got it home and I noticed a dead pixel right in the fucking middle. I took that shit right back.
What happened?
I was like, I got a PSP right years ago, like when these things were new, and I'm playing it and I noticed it like there's a dead pixel right in the fucking middle. I took that shit right back. I was like, guess what? I was like, it's got a dead pixel. Give me another one. And then, like, I don't know. I'm a stickler for that shit. Like, dead pixels. No,
so am I.
Yeah, like, annoy the hell out of me.
Other problems, though, with the left Joy-Con, you know, shout out to MVP Magazine, that we do the multiplayer podcast. With
the gold and the rusty feet? Go ahead.
Yeah, his Joy-Con, like, the left Joy-Con stopped, you know, working and stuff. But Nintendo had a list of, you know, reasons. They said if you don't have your cell phone by the controller, but
cell phone? Fish tanks? Don't have a fish tank.
but they're using the cell phone after that. If you want to do voice shit, like, this shit is crazy to me, man.
Oh yeah, look. I'm not saying that it's perfect by any means, but again, look at the Xbox One till now. Even look at the PS4 till now.
We're talking about Nintendo. They don't give up updates like that.
Well, they already supposedly going to update, like putting in stuff like Netflix and different streaming services and stuff like that. So, hopefully.
On a 360 15 years ago.
I realize that. Hey, but let's give them props for letting you change your name, right? I mean, you can do that.
Hey, well, this is over. Can you guys give me all 12 digits of your friend codes? Thanks. Like, seriously, get GTFO, man. Like, it is 2017. Is it that hard? Just let us. I remember that ship has sailed for them, man.
Hey, you know what? Like, if Microsoft loves to switch that much, I gotta love it too, right?
Can we talk about that? What the hell is going on in that Redmond?
Okay, we talked about this a little bit last week, but I just want to say it's gotten even worse.
Yes.
Even my boy Mikey Barra streamed Zelda on Beam. Streamed Zelda on Beam.
The thing with
Xbox
this, and this kind of jumps towards what you say your topic. This has happened really, really, really soon. I mean, you guys know ever since the Switch came out, Aaron Greenberg, even Major Nelson, Mike, they're really, 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 I guess you could say in a sense, supporting Nintendo in a way. But since that topic, you said that supposedly that trip to Japan.
Yeah.
If you kind of think kind of a coincidence or a rumor, I mean, it kind of put two and two like, man, okay, if that rumor is true that Phil Spencer went to Japan to talk about a deal with Nintendo, that might explain why they are literally talking about Nintendo every other day.
Yeah.
So
now for those that don't know, I talked about this a little bit on Xbox Nation. I heard now, all in all, 4 people have talked to me about this thing. Phil Spencer went to Japan to talk to third-party devs. I had heard from 3 people that it was he was finalizing some kind of deal with Nintendo as part of this as well. One person told me absolutely nothing major that would benefit Xbox people. But think about this. Microsoft's biggest property is Minecraft. Minecraft is 8-bit. What if they were trying to do some kind of swap to use Mario 8-bit?
But don't they already have that though? Like,
Isn't there like a Mario
pack for
Minecraft?
There is, but on the Nintendo stuff, right? I don't know if you can use the Nintendo 8-bit stuff on the Xbox or anything like that. But or imagine like a swap, because Nintendo's already teasing Smash Brothers this year, right? What if they wanted to use Banjo-Kazooie or Joanna Dark or something like that, and Microsoft can maybe use Samus in Killer Instinct, because we know there's a new that's what I'm saying, or a Link, right? Like maybe it's some kind of character swap.
Do you marry Switchmas and streaming?
I mean, the thing with tweeting though, them tweeting and talking about, even if that's not the case about a deal, unfortunately I'm on the fence of they're just excited to play it, I guess. I mean, it's
all that's well and good. But
that's really I understand where you guys come how it's like.
Okay, new guy, I got to interrupt you. Look, before you start, look, Xbox ain't here. So I don't want to hear that shit. You need to calm down and understand this is what happens when you promote other shit other than your own product. It's called lack of confidence. And as K-Mega will say.
I mean, but at the same time, though, I mean, I guess it's under, I don't know if really, it is promoting in a sense. I guess you could, I mean, but they're not saying like go out and buy it.
What?
I don't know.
They're the best spokespersons for that shit.
No, but I don't really like officially. They're not like buying. Like it's just. I mean, if you think of it as now, if it was like something like a small indie game that they keep on talking about, then I'd be like, all right, why are you talking about? I mean, this is Zelda that's been around since the 80s.
Horizon Zero Dawn, then give me an explanation for that.
What's that?
Then what's the reason for talking about Horizon Zero Dawn so much?
Because that's the 2 different companies. You got old school Japan style where they're extremely pride stricken. They won't admit something nice. I mean, what's his name? Yoshida did say congrats and stuff like that to Nintendo, but I think in a sense, if they're just trying to take out on a new leave, like, hey, we really just like playing games. I mean, congratulations, Adam Boyes, but I think this was after he left. He congratulated Microsoft when they released Gears of War 4.
Well, he's been hired.
No, I think this was like right before he left, though, Adam Boyes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they were, I don't know. I guess if it's their personal Twitter, we can't really rely on
something you can't damage control, man. This is bigger than Nino Brown here, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Look.
I mean, I'm just looking at I'm taking the business model out.
I know, but this is okay. But this is the business model right here. You are a Fortune 500 company. You are in competition with these other companies. Now, it's all great to make tweets and to say that you like the other company's product. That's great. But for every one tweet, you need to have at least 4 to 5 tweets talking about your product. That builds confidence into the brand that you have. You do not see a McDonald's rep tweeting about how good the Burger King chicken fries is. If you do, you find out that that person is fired, and that person has got his walking papers.
But also, I mean, we have this. See, we have this thing at my work called "We Eat Our Own Dog Food." I work for a mortgage company. They promote getting your own mortgage. I did not eat my own dog food. That doesn't mean I'm promoting another company that I went with for my loan. It's just because I felt more comfortable going with a different company. So even though Mike Ibarra is talking about, or literally the guy, I mean, what if it is in the end, plain and simple, he's just a fan of Zelda? Would you chastise him for that?
No, I'm not chastising him for being a fan of that.
Microsoft public account to promote.
But he's not a. I mean, I get you. He is. Well, I don't know. I mean, his official position.
That's his Xbox public account or whatever. That's what he's known for. But what we're saying.
Well, I mean, being known.
Oh well, whatever.
Is that his personal Twitter? Or like Major Nelson on his Twitter bio says my tweets are my own. He doesn't say it's Microsoft's. Now he might get reprimanded or yelled at. Like Phil might come in next week and be like, bro, Mike, what the fuck, dude? You just tweeting Zelda all over the place. What are you doing? Like, who knows what's going on behind doors?
Well, this is what we're saying. And at the end of the day, just look at it. And it's not even about some console war type thing. You guys know it's not. What I don't. When, like I said, we're actually you have a platform, you have a product, you stand by that product, right? But when you're and regardless of people saying, well, Microsoft don't look at Sony and Nintendo as competition, we're not talking about we're talking about the Xbox division. And where they're telling someone to go out and go buy a Switch, that's $300 that's not spent in your ecosystem. You know what I mean?
But if he already supports the ecosystem by having it.
No. I'm talking when you're putting if you just streamed it at home, who wouldn't know about it? But when you're promoting, you use social media as a tool to promote the product. You know what I mean?
Now, what if, let's play devil's advocate? He promoted Zelda on Beam.
Yeah.
So come watch Zelda on a Microsoft-owned platform.
Okay, that's fine. But then yet people are still thinking about the Switch. Listen, it's a problem when they promote Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn more than they promote Dead Rising 4. That's a problem.
Or Halo Wars 2, which was, by the way, fantastic. But
Halo Wars 2 was,
It's amazing. And that's the problem that I have. Nobody's saying that Xbox needs to be taking shots and saying, you know what, Sony, go stick a finger up your ass. That's not what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? But what we just want is that, look, show confidence. That's why you have so many people that do this flip-flopping thing, because they don't have the confidence in seeing that Xbox is showing the confidence, especially right now where they have a dry period to where they have to be quiet because of the Scorpio reveal and the games that they're going to come out. It would behoove them to promote everything that they got, even from last year's shit, and get everybody on board and prepared for the Scorpio and for what's coming on beyond, than to talk about other platforms and other games right now.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It was interesting. I'm like, congratulate and move on. But then when it's a week later, and Xbox people are at PAX right now, right? Or they're just leaving, and they're all tweeting about their Switches and playing Zelda. I think I mentioned this last week, or it might have been Xbox Nation. Two people, Stein and Albion Girl. Stein is like a community manager at Xbox, and Albion Girl is like a social managing person at Xbox. They're tweeting back and forth about playing the Switch and getting on Skype and talking to each other. And I got kind of mad, and I tweeted them both. I was like, you guys should try playing Xbox One, because they have party chat and it's fun. Try it, see what you think. You know what I mean? And I just was being a smart ass, because you do get tired of it a little bit. It's like, congratulate, fine, and move on. As for the developers, you had Rod at the Coalition. You had all these developers from Microsoft. Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn's great. Oh, Zelda's great. Well, if they're so great, they should inspire you to go make better games than those, right? Yeah. Like that was don't strive to be BGST. Strive to be better than BGST. Don't strive to be Horizon Zero Dawn or Zelda. Be better than that. Aim higher than that. And that's what they should be doing. Not, take that as a challenge. You know what I mean? Look.
I mean, but don't we already know that? Don't we already think that? Us in here, I mean, don't we already think? I mean, to me, Gears of War 4 is better than Horizon.
Well,
I know, but I'm saying just us, though. I mean, like, for you said they need to strive better, except, I mean, who knows I mean, for one, we're kind of premature.
A single player, a multiplayer game.
But see, for me, I don't play multiplayer. I love the Gears story. The gear story is amazing. Though I do know multiplayer is a huge part in that. But I'm saying, like, I mean, 2 games. I mean, you got, like you said, I mean, talking about striving, us community, we already know they have great games. So I mean, that I don't know. I mean, that's where I guess what disagree.
What about you forget your core? What about because we're believing that we're the small, the core.
Yeah.
What about the bigger demographic, which like I said, which the casuals? If you're following this, if you're a fan, you're like your sports team, you're following Microsoft, their employees. You're tweeting about you're following them to tweet and talk about Xbox products to get you excited about that. If I want to hear about Nintendo products, I will go follow Reggie. I will go follow whoever. Yeah. I don't understand it.
I mean, I follow. I mean, yeah, my preference of Xbox, but I don't know. I guess I just look at it as, for me, simple. He's talking about Zelda. He's a fan of Zelda. I'm not a fan of Zelda. Not because I played it. Yeah, right. But that's because I played those past Zeldas. It's just, I mean, it's not for me. I'm not saying it's shitty like Uncharted. Everyone loves Uncharted. I'm just not a fan.
Hey, I'm with you. Like The Last of Us, I think The Last of Us is straight garbage not from a storytelling aspect, but I think the gameplay aspect is just straight hot garbage.
And
I didn't like it.
I just look at it because they're using that same type of camera angle and everything.
I mean, I do agree with you guys about maybe they could cut down on it, but at the same time, I'm looking at it like, hey, he wants to play some Zelda. Maybe he grew up with Zelda. Who knows? I mean,
so you gonna promote it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Saying I'm streaming it, I don't look at it. Hey, I'm streaming Zelda. Come watch if you guys want. Let's have a chill time.
We've been looking at this for a long time. Look, I understand the point of view of that they might have a partnership with Nintendo, and I get that point. But they're doing this with Sony as well, and Sony.
I think the team is taking up a new leave though. I mean, literally, it's always nice. It's always, they're just being, I mean, I know it's a cutthroat dog-eat-dog world in the business world, but they're just like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to play some Zelda. I mean, I prefer Xbox, but I'm, yesterday I played The Last Guardian.
Cromie Fitch is not going to be promoting another store. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Ralph Lauren is not going to promote Jabot.
But
it's not going to happen.
No, they're not. Exactly. It's not going to happen. But they're not Microsoft. They're not Phil Spencer. They're not Mike Ibarra. I think we've been so used to this fuck you, it's us type still. Now that's
when they were leading stuff.
Exactly. Okay, so look at the past 3 years though. What has happened? The entire gaming industry has flipped upside down, hating on Microsoft. And I just think now it's like,
well, but them kissing the ass is not going to make them love them.
No, it's not. But at the end of the day, they could be like, hey, man, we just tweeted Zelda. We're playing some Zelda.
Okay, check this out. Okay, the whole point of this is what this is. This is what this is. Now, I get this. It's kumbaya shit. It's crazy, man. I don't get this shit, Jack. But listen, look. If you come out and you try, that's just like, okay, all of us at this panel, especially Crap and Z, they go out and they try to reach out to the ponies or to the zealots that can't stand them. And they say, look, I want to play a game with you. They might play a game with Z and they might play a game with Crap, but you know what's going to happen the next week when they're on BGST? The same shit that happens every fucking week. They're going to dog them out. And that's exactly, there's people that fear Microsoft because they know if Microsoft, like Z says, they're the behemoth. If they really wanted to crush Sony, they could without any doubt. If they really wanted to, they could. And the enemies that hate Microsoft knows that. They know that. So they want to hate them just because they're Microsoft, just because it's Xbox. And they just got to get over that. Cater to your own and then feed the rest of the people that are neutrals. Feed to your, cater to your base, and then feed out everything that you got to make them see that you care about the gamers. That's what's important, not catering to another company.
Yeah,
I just think, I mean, I guess it's either be quiet or not be quiet. I mean, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I mean, he went out, he spent $60. He spent $360 on the Switch. Do you guys really think he wouldn't have bought that if he didn't say anything? You guys would know he would buy it. You know, Phil Spencer would have bought it. Even though he didn't say it, but obviously it's already done and over with. He provided Nintendo.
Spencer owns a BMW or a Benz. He didn't, I don't see him tweeting talking about that. But I don't know, man. I just,
he's just a fan. I mean, if I'm a fan of cars, I got
the perfect example. You're tuning in right now to BGST. Here you go, Crap. Hey, Go watch that Weapon Wheel podcast. Those guys, come on, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like I'm Xbox. Talk about Xbox.
And this is the thing that I fear the most, right? With the whole kumbaya thing, right? It also gives me the same kind of feel that Nintendo is having right now. Is saying, look, we just want to be in the gaming world. We just want to give you a product. Microsoft said when Killer Phil first came in here, he said, no, I do not like the fact that PlayStation is curb stomping the shit out of us. So basically, I want that #1 spot.
It seems like he's changed his outlook, though.
And that, to me, scares me, because if you're going to just say, I'm cool with being second, then that means that they're going to slack off on wanting to be #1 and bring in true competition.
But in the end, though, I guess would #1 make the games better?
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Sony is leading a good precedent for the gaming industry as a whole right now?
A good what?
Well, I said that wrong. A good example for gaming right now. Are they setting a good tone
the council is, the company isn't.
Okay, so
that's how it was last year. Last year, I loved last generation, I loved the PS3, but I fucking hated how Sony was dogging left and right.
Okay,
love the PS3.
If you find that to be problematic, right? Don't you feel that there should be competition? There is competition, but if Microsoft is talking about being friendly with everybody, then that holds them back of wanting to be, to come after them for being #1.
I think they pick and choose their situations. I mean, literally, it's Zelda. It's Zelda. I mean, he just said
it's Horizon Zero Dawn. It's Horizon Zero Dawn. It's been a week fucking later, and they're still talking about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. Because they like it. I mean,
it's a good game. It's a great
I like
game.
this.
Yeah, it's a great game. I don't know. I guess they said I'm not looking at the business model. I'm looking at it. Hey,
they're gamers, right? That's what you're saying. They're gamers, and the problem.
Phil has said that from the beginning. He is a gamer.
Okay, well, that's the problem. Gamers. He should be a businessman and worry about the Xbox business.
But I think, honestly, they're so confident. But like I said, in the end, we don't know their situation inside the doors. They could be in such a plus on their company, like, hey, let's just beam on our platform a Nintendo game. Or, he could have very well said YouTube, like, hey, I want to be on YouTube or Twitch. But it was like a double edge. I guarantee you, here we go. They probably had over 1 million people go to Beam's website, and who knows, maybe 500,000 subscriptions signed up because they saw his Zelda on Beam for the first time. Holy shit, this zero latency, etc. So it's like a double-edged sword.
They're trying to sell Nintendo on Beam. Like, they want them to do like a Beam Up app because they're like a services. Like, Microsoft cares about service. Anybody can use Beam. Anybody can use Skype. Anybody can use Azure. Cloud computer. They've been very vocal about that. Yeah. I'm whether or not Zelda or Horizon Zero Dawn use Havoc engine, I'm not sure. If they do, ching.
Because, you don't see him. Havoc engine. Yeah. He's not talking. He's not beaming Heroes Orion. Horizon Zero Dawn. He's not beaming that.
They were.
He beamed that.
Maybe go home and stream Neo and all that stuff.
I thought he was talking about Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, no, he did stream Zelda, but there was other people. He has streamed a PlayStation 4 game in the past. Yeah. But it just seems like that there is the love fest. I'm all for congratulating. And
exactly. I agree. I totally understand where you guys are coming from. Next year.
It's frustrating.
As a business, yes.
You don't see Microsoft as a whole giving a full love fest to Apple. But you see Apple telling their customers don't use Apple Maps, use Nokia Maps, which Microsoft owns Nokia Maps. Tim Cook said that when the iPhone 6 launched. He goes, you know what? Don't use Apple Maps, use Nokia Maps because it's a piece of shit. Apple Maps said they use Nokia Maps. When he said that, the internet fucking blew up. Like, whoa! Like, did you just tell us to use? You just answered our question. You just said the people blew up. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
They have confidence in their platform. Tim Cook, when he said that, he did not have cut. He admitted. He said that Apple Maps is garbage.
Friendly competition is nothing wrong with friendly competition. It's just like when me and Zaire go at it at a fighting game. It's friendly competition. We talk shit to each other. We get into the moment, but then we're still cool at the end of the day. I'm not saying that Microsoft should be out there sending out hate messages to PlayStation and to Nintendo, but let your product speak for itself. Show that you have loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Because we're over here fighting a good fight, and then we constantly get called El Mega and everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
I get called worse than that.
We all know the proof is in the pudding. I mean,
we all getting hell, and then we're over here representing this product, not because we feel that it's a better product, but damn, if you're not showing that it's the better product, then damn, that makes us look like fools at the end of the day.
No, but I think we are, though. I mean, look at him doing the fan service of Voodoo Vince, and then even though the whole fiasco with the company, the developer who was making Phantom Dust. I mean, yeah, they got that just HD upgrade coming out. But look at Halo Wars 2. That Halo Wars 1 was so under the radar, it wasn't even funny. But then last year he goes, hey, boom, Halo Wars 2. Everyone was like, holy shit. And the mass majority was not asking for Halo Wars 2. But they still did it because they knew there was a cult following behind it. So I think we have to look at what they're doing as fuck, man. They just made Halo Wars 2. So obviously they're listening to us in a way, or even every month. Every month they update our platform every month with new features. So there's a loyalty there. They know. But at the same time, though, we have – not us in general, but I mean, we have to do our part. I mean, I'm hearing, I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm seeing people talking about new IPs. We need new IPs, this, that. I was like, okay, these people that are saying we're new IPs, and why the fuck aren't you buying them? Why aren't you supporting the company that you like? I mean, look at Recore. Amazing fucking game. Did it even sell?
Because they promote it. They didn't promote it.
I saw it. I saw it all over. I saw it everywhere. But also, I think at the same time, not Kenji Ifune, the guy who made it. Didn't he also work on Mighty Number 9 as well?
Yeah.
So I think that stain of Mighty Number 9 carried over to Recore, which was a month later. So I think people are like, oh fuck, Mighty Number 9.
If you looked at they were given that tagline or whatever about that, right? The creator of Mega Man or whatever. By that time, his name had been sullied a little bit. But I will say that game might pick up a little steam when it does. Native 4K 60 frames per second is getting an HDR patch. It's getting a 60 frames per second patch on Scorpio, and it's going to be HDR, and it's getting DLC too. It's getting some kind of that extra bot or whatever. So hopefully that gives it second life because it's not a bad game. There were some flaws in it or whatever, but I did like the general direction of it and thought that it could be really cool. Now, I want to talk about how many people we got in here watching. Over 490.
About to hit 500 already.
Okay, make sure you guys hit that like button. I'm going to announce something now that it's going to be kind of shocking. This isn't like a troll thing or anything like that. Within the game,
3 tickets.
No.
Oh,
with the way that the podcasting is, right? BGST is kind of on the forefront. I remember us doing Skype calls. We've done a lot of things that were now get copied. We've done a lot of things to kind of put ourselves out there, pushing boundaries. A lot of podcasts. Look at how many podcasts there are now, Pro Xbox or whatever, even other ones. Z, you mentioned Weapon Wheel podcast earlier. There's a lot of them, right? There's a ton of podcasts. We always get asked, hey, crap, why don't you guys ever have these guys on or debate these guys or do that? And I'm like, well, debates aren't really my thing. I ran this past Zaire and Tim. And I just want to say, Zaire, when we first formed BGST, and I'm working up to something, what was it all about? It was bringing about guys together that from different walks of life, right?
Yeah, they didn't have any.
Yeah, so
in common.
Me and Zaire probably don't have much in common outside of gaming, but now we're friends, right? And I'm not saying that we can be friends with these people because, obviously a lot of people in YouTube, it's this and that, and it's some of it's childish and whatever, but the bottom line is games. And I'm hoping that an olive branch or something can be extended. And I am saying, hey, let's take on Weapon Wheel Podcast. We'll set up 2 debates or / co-podcasts. We'll have 3 of them on here one week. 3 of us will go on theirs one week. They can bring some topics. We'll bring some topics. Probably something that we get asked a lot to do. A lot of people think we're just we're haters or we're cancers or whatever. You know, the offer is there officially. You know, let's just talk some games. Maybe straighten some things out. Not a bunch of screaming. Let's talk some games, some topics. We're knowledgeable. They're knowledgeable. Let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? Let's have some fun with it. I know.
I'm ready to come for you, cocksucker. Let's go.
I'm sure that probably shocks a lot of people, right? Because I know certainly I've never done anything like that. There it is. I mean, like, and K Mega, you didn't know about this beforehand. I was just like,
no, and I'm with it. I have no problem. Like I said, I talked to BG. BG was really cordial. He was cool. It was that little funny ass creepy dude that constantly just wants to throw shit. You know what I'm saying? And Bond,
that's creepy, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? That's all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever really only talked to Hard 8 one time. It was something that happened with me and T-Tech that was talking, and he jumped in the conversation, and he was cool at that point. But now, I guess because his little homie is over there talking, he wants to talk some shit. But I don't care. It's all good to me. If we did it's BGST intro media gaming, I'm coming in. I was raised in this shit. I was born in the darkness. Let's go. Let's go.
Exactly. So anyway, the offer's there. So anyway, if it happens, it happens. It like the ball is in their court completely because the offer is there. You know what I'm saying? So people can stop asking this. It's 100% legit. This isn't like a work or anything like that. It's a shoot. So you know, it is what it is. It's there. It could be. It would be a hell of a thing. I mean, we're like 500 people in here right now just watching this shit. I can imagine what that would bring. But yeah, it'd be a hell of a thing. But that's pretty much the big news. Also, like on BGST, like you said, we are trying out some new people, and we got like we're kind of organizing a little bit better, trying to bring the entertainment, and we're working more on the site and things like that, trying to get a little bit more user friendly, fan friendly. Listen to you guys a little bit more, do some more things with you guys. So a lot of that stuff is coming. So don't, you know, we really appreciate you guys. Like, look at the amount things have changed. Like, it's hard to believe we're in 2017 about to get the most powerful console ever created. And yet, you know,
wow. Yeah,
and realistically, just looking at the landscape, the podcasters, the site, you know what I mean? Like, there is so much, it's changed so much in a few years. Like, Z is a big part of that, obviously. So, just even to get like them, and it wasn't like, you know, like he trusted me. I was like, this was my idea, and he's like, yeah, man. Like, there was no like opposition to it. Where it's like, yeah, man, it's like, you know, that could be hot. You know what I mean? Like let's do it. So, just yeah, that it's out there, and I just figured I'd put that out there. Some of you guys are probably like, what the hell? I never thought that happened. Crap Gamer doesn't do that stuff, but there it is. You know what I mean? Offers on the table. I'm sure that you know, maybe that if that's exciting for people.
They're gonna say this is how we trade our games.
Well, I mean, look, it's there. I just wanted to say that. Oh, now we can hop back into the topics. I did want to mention this other thing. The IGN employee,
yes,
that fucking reviewed the Switch and gave it a 7, got fired.
He's a
what? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
He got laid off.
Yeah.
Yes, like he's like out of the blue, he got laid off today. Like, holy crap!
Wow, I didn't see that.
It's not the first time something like this has happened in the gaming industry. Before as reviewers, I think the guy, I forget his name, that reviewed Kane and Lynch didn't give it their favorite review, and I guess the company paid a ton for the ad and advertisements. You know, certain site, I'm not gonna say any names. They let him go. So this is not something that's new. It happens. It sucks, but you know, you know.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
reviewing.
Can you believe that? Like, originally, the Switch, he gave it a 6.4, and then he upped it to a 7 for the final review. But then apparently that wasn't enough. And also, I can remember somebody from, I think, GameSpot or one of those sites, don't quote me on the GameSpot thing, but gave, I think, The Last of Us a 7.5 and got fired. Yeah, so this kind of stuff happened. Also, Jeff Gertzman, I believe, that's who you were referring to, Zaire. See, you know your shit too.
I remember Jeff Gertzman.
Yeah, he reviewed Kane and Lynch too, I think, and gave it a horrendous score, and he got fired.
It's kind of like with the whole fiasco with Adam Sessler when all that shit went down when the PS4 first came out, and he was talking about I think it was Killzone or something like that. And do you guys remember? Like I remember Cliff Blazinski, even Albert Pinello and Phil Spencer. They all went on Twitter like, "Okay, what just happened with Adam Sessler?" And it was I had heard rumors supposedly like he gave a bad review about Killzone when the PS4 first came out, and he talked about something about graphics and supposedly. I don't know. There's rumor that Sony got a hold of what was the team that he was on?
He was on Rev 3 games.
Rev 3, that's what it was. Yeah, Rev 3. And I remember he was getting like a whole bunch of death threats, of course, from the Savages. But he was supposedly Sony came down on them, and then like that day, like he was like he left, and that's supposedly when he left gaming for a couple months or whatever.
And Rev 3 closed down. Not only that, to your point, Mason, to those that don't know, originally when the PS4 launched, they weren't allowing the media. You couldn't capture stuff. Remember, there was no way to cap card that stuff. They had the HTTP stuff enabled.
Adams, he was pissed.
And
off.
he goes, yeah. He reviewed Infamous. Second
That's what it was.
Son.
Infamous. You're right.
Yeah, he reviewed that, and he goes, "I'd like to show you footage, but they won't let me." He's like, they just give you B-roll footage and expect you to review the game. And he got really pissed off, and people were like, "Oh, well, Cry Me a River or all this."
If you guys notice when he was talking about how graphics, this and that on one of the PS4 games, when him and Morgan Webb did the Bethesda E3 press conference last year, and right before they started, if you guys watch, they were talking about, we can't wait to see Fallout 4 because of the graphics. And we all know that's what matters. And then they went on. I was like, he took a dig because of what happened when he got when all those people attacked him because of that. But damn, I didn't know what games was going on.
He was the only person that gave Xbox launch games some credit. Like,
Adam Sessler was a great guy.
I love Adam Sessler. He's one of the reasons why I feel that was pure in gaming with his reviews. He gave Forza Horizon 5 great reviews.
And he gave it a 5 out of 5.
He did. He said it was great to content.
5. Yeah, he's really good.
And people went crazy at him, and that was the start of him getting all this hate. And when it came down to the Infamous thing, it just was, he was telling the truth. And a lot of those older guys that were doing reviews, they fell to the wayside because they didn't follow the status quo. And that's sad. That is really sad. If that doesn't show or prove that there's bias in this media, in the gaming media, no matter how small you want to think of it, it's problematic because there is no other entities out there except for us YouTubers to combat this garbage, man. It's terrible.
That's what, he was definitely one of the first guys to, he kind of was like, to me, for a professional journalist, him and, he was the kind of one that said, fuck you, no, I'm going to tell you how it is. But unfortunately, the system of that was like, no, you're gone. See it.
Well, the whole aspect that was like, he's like, you can't even show the footage anymore. The games, like Sony is dictating what you can show. Sort of like, I know people are like, there's still people out there that don't believe there's bias or that they don't let their feelings for particular people affect their scores and things like that. It'd be like me. If I were a professional reviewer who got paid for that, I would probably have feelings a certain kind of way when I reviewed a Halo or Gears game. Like, there's just no doubt about it. The Metal Gear Solid 5, right? I played that with that 90 plus Metacritic, and there's no ending, and the story is non-existent.
What
and this game,
sorry, you broke up.
What's that? I said Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it got incredible reviews, but guess what? Konami was in charge of people. They basically watched over you while you played the game. Right, like that. Yeah, so it's like, and people felt bad for Kojima, so they gave the game a really good score.
I'd be like, if I was playing that game, like, hey, you mind getting the fuck out of this playroom? I'm trying to enjoy the game.
They only let you do a certain amount of thing, though, right? Like a certain farm, because once you get to a certain point in Metal Gear 5, the story is like a lot of people did. But once you get into the set part of the story, and there is no story. It's like cassette tapes and shit that explain stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it is I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it's definitely not the game that people portray. Just like this Zelda game, right? I've heard from people, and again, I don't have my Switch yet, delay or whatever, due to the Amazon nonsense. But people that I've heard play it are like, okay, the controls are shitty, and there's literally performance issues. You're playing at like 20 frames per second or whatever, right? How is that game a 10? Like, I realized that an experience can be really good and get a 10. But how is that? You know, like same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Like those, I noticed games that aren't on Xbox platforms get a pass for things that Xbox games don't, and so like that to me is frustrating. Why I kind of do sort of what I do as far as yeah, you know what I mean. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like button too, man. When you get like you know, so many people watching, and it really makes you feel good when you hit the like button and it shows that you appreciate the content and stuff. Because we're working on things getting a lot better. Like I said, like BGST has a lot of big things on the horizon, so make sure you guys stick around and support it and things like that. I also want to talk a little bit about Xbox One loses the NPD in February. Yeah, it came out.
Well, wait, for me, this kind of goes back to what I said. I other than maybe just using ammunition, I really think inside we don't know what their financial situation is, what they're making. They might lose, and then but who knows? They could still be making money. That's my stance. It's like now, it literally, I don't think it even. I think it's just a numbers. If I'm saying it right. In the end, I think they know what they're making and what they're losing. Of course, you always want to strive for more. Like I do agree with what you guys are saying earlier. It's a business. You want to make more money, but who knows? They might have lost February, but at the same time, they could have made fucking $300 billion, et cetera. Something like, you know what I'm saying? We won't really know. And I think this numbers game is getting so tiring. I don't even click on the links anymore when they come out.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's unfortunate is they equate losing NPD with meaning that you must be doing really, really bad.
They also equate the first 3 to 4 months of 2017 as the whole year.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true as well. Not only, look, like Sony does a good thing when they delay a game that's supposed to come out and then it comes out the following year, like early. That's a pretty good strategy because multiplats really push the later half anyway. So that is a good strategy. Microsoft had a really good game, Halo Wars 2, but again, that's a very niche product. You know, sort of like, I mean, Sony had plenty of niche products too. Like, what the hell did they release? Gravity Rush 2, Yakuza.
Okay, I might not know that. Do we know the confirmed holiday so far? The confirmed holiday releases for Sony's side?
We don't, but we do. You could probably bet that Gran Turismo Sport would be one. And probably that Uncharted DLC. Yeah.
Oh, the one with the big map. Okay.
Yeah. It's like they're saying it's a standalone game, but it's like 4 to 6 hours. I'm not sure exactly.
I will say one thing. I'm getting sick and tired of fucking seeing concept art for State of Decay 2. Just show me the damn game. Concept art, yes, it looks really cool. Yes, every movie does it. I know. I don't care. I want to see the game, but I know.
Hey, you know what, dude, Mason, I'm with you, right? They actually did a nice interview. I saw an interview from PAX, right, and people were asking them questions. So it was cool to get some information. They were like, originally, as you guys might know, they were doing this game called Class 4, which was an MMO RPG, like open world zombie thing. But then they're like, when they looked at what the fans really wanted, the fans really just wanted a co-op State of Decay. So they're making like this larger world. Their development team is 4 times as big as the original. It's a full AAA game. It's going to be 4-player co-op. There's no, it's not like you don't play against each other. It's like you help each other out and stuff. So it sounds like they're doing a really cool thing with it. Like it's using Unreal Engine 4. So apparently it looks good. They asked about Scorpio support, but then like at PAX and then a PR person stepped in and was just like, we'll talk more about that at E3. You know what I mean? Like Scorpio is like on lockdown there. You know what I'm saying? Like they are not talking about that. They need to talk about it because we all know it's coming. Like,
honestly, I'm more excited what it looks like. I want to see what the damn thing looks like.
Yeah, like we don't know for sure.
I don't care what the damn thing look like. That's why I didn't even really care about the Xbox One Fat. I mean, shit, I just want the shit to work. I'm not an interior decorator. I'm a gamer, damn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah, I completely get you. But here's the thing. Like people assume that that's like not a good or like people aren't going to buy that. The first one they confirmed over 5 million sales in that interview. So I mean that takes into account the 360 ones and also the State of Decay Year 1 on Xbox One.
I picked up the year. I never played it when it first came out until when I heard this was coming out year 1. I'm like, oh, and then I looked into it and I'm like, oh.
Well, you know what they did? What was cool with that is if you bought it on the Xbox 360, which it sold 1 million its initial weekend on 360, Yeah. Then if you had it on 360, it was only like $20 on Xbox One, or 30 if you bought it if you hadn't bought it before. So you got a little bit of a discount there. I have both. It also has all the DLC included, which is a hell of a deal as well. Really cool. Mixes up like the survival aspects with like open
multiplayer, right?
Yeah, it's co-op, dude. So you can do like 4-person co-op. I think that's going to be a good game to like stream, like or like do like playthroughs and things like that.
Is this going to be a physical release, or is it going to be?
It's going to be physical release and digital. I mean, it's a AAA game, so they have said that it's a AAA game and it's going to be like a play anywhere title. So
now, didn't they say like they have a multi-game or multi-year contract agreement with Undead Labs?
Yeah, they have multi-game, multi-year. Microsoft owns the IP. So
okay, I remember when they said that, then because you were just talking about that other game that they were talking about. You were just saying a second ago that they might show at E3. So I was kind of curious if that goes under their contract.
Yeah. So it does, and that's one of Microsoft's good second-party studios. Again, that's probably one of those ones where people are like, Microsoft should buy them. Microsoft should buy Playground. And it probably would be a pretty good pickup. I mean, let's see how this game does, and then if it does well, you never know. But speaking of buying developers, like, did you guys see the IGN Unlocked interview with Phil Spencer?
Yes.
They were asking him about first-party games and first-party studios, and he said, I quote, we're actively invested in new first-party studios and new first-party IP. So it sounds like they already have it. And he also went on to mention that they are planning on there's a balance to announcing stuff like that. He doesn't want to announce stuff 3 years out, but he understands that some people want to know what's coming up. You know what I mean? Like,
fans excited what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like I do have to say that. Like, as much as I like Xbox, they do a piss poor job of keeping the fans excited throughout the year. Like Sony seems to always do that. Even Nintendo does those damn what the hell are those things?
Directs.
Yeah, those Nintendo Directs and shit, right?
Oh, the Directs, yeah. Does oh fuck, I was gonna say. Never mind. I just lost my train of thought.
Well, yeah. So Microsoft, realistically, the only thing they did last year was E3, like the only thing, which that's frustrating to people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, get people hype. Why can't you guys like? This is what they could do, and it doesn't even mean much. Fucking show a chip from inside the Scorpio.
Oh man, I agree. No, seriously, that would be like a corner of it. Like, oh
exactly.
Shit, we got it.
Show a fucking corner of the Scorpio, right? Like, can you imagine the buzz that would get? You're gonna fucking own the internet for the forthcoming days. People are gonna be fucking trying to figure out what it designed like with that. Blur it out. Remember how they introduced the PS4 as this big blurry fucking blob?
Yeah.
Do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, fucking do something to hype people up. You're only doing one. Like, they need to be doing at least 2 shows.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, do you think they close? Like, the marketing. Like, you look at the Bananas with the 360 last generation compared to right now, it's not even close. I was talking to them like, they let somebody go. Like, it's not the same,
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, fucking go out there, hype your game. Because I'll be honest, man, a lot of the hardcore, and let's face it, we're in the know with the hardcore fans, right? They're feeling less than good right now because you know how it is, man. You get the fucking Metacritic shoved down your throat for Zelda, the Metacritic shoved down your throat for Horizon Zero Dawn, the fucking NPD shoved down your throat. And where's the Xbox news? We had Halo Wars 2, but let's be honest, it's a niche title. We can admit that.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Very few people are into that. But it's, I don't know. I mean, usually it's always kind of a little dry, a little after holiday. I mean, we had a big holiday. They had a big holiday, and I think now it's kind of just. I mean, shit. Who would have thought we got Xbox Game Pass announcement like that?
Yeah.
Like seriously, that shit that you announced at E3, and that's what gets me more hyped. If they were to announce that now, it's like, damn, dude. Like, what now? What are you gonna announce? What was it? They announced something else too. I forgot what it was.
Every AAA multi-plat game that's released between now and then, they should give Scorpio support. Come out and say it. And just at the end of the day, because I guess we are gamers. What have you done for me now lately? Type of thing. And
what have you done for me now lately?
Yeah.
It's one thing I said. It's sometimes like Microsoft. I had the momentum, and they just take their foot off the gas. Like they really need to pound that home. It's like Sony did. 1080p makes you a better game and all that shit. We've been here for years. They really need to, pound that home. True 4K native. You know what I mean?
Well, they seem to be doing that, which, hopefully, because that's definitely what's needed. When you look at what people are talking about. But then again, when you're like the only true 4K native, what happens when you have a game where the third-party dev decided to do, like ultra settings at 1400p 60 frames? You know what I mean? Like people are going to be like, Microsoft lied. They lied.
But even with that, though, they keep it fun. They do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
And the Xbox One version is using the better textures and it looks better graphically. I think it's still, as long as it looks better, head and shoulders above what Sony has, because I've always said before, this resolution shit is bullshit. The graphics is something totally different. They got this, they're running the same multi-plats and they look head and shoulders better on the Project Scorpio, Xbox Scorpio. I think they'll be fine, but they have to really pound that home. Don't just be modest about it. They got to really, pound that shit home.
Yeah, like get that shit out there and take advantage of it, because people look. I will say this, and next gen, you probably will back me up. All you guys will. Before this generation, the average console gamer didn't know what the fuck a teraflop was.
Oh fuck, man! Nobody knew.
They didn't care about the resolution. Like I'm sitting there. I was playing Crackdown 1 on my 360 to do a review, and I was recording a couple hours of footage, and just to get, it's the 10-year anniversary, and again, Microsoft really fucking missed a point to kind of exploit that and get people hyped for Crackdown 3. They could have done something, right? Like hire me. I will have you guys on point on the social media part, right? Like tweet something like happy anniversary for Crackdown 3 or Crackdown franchise on Xbox, released 10 years ago. It's free for the day. It's backwards compatible. Enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, do something. That would get people hyped.
It was funny, like you said, about how a lot of people really last gen nobody doing this. It's funny when they first announced these next gen consoles. Well, the consoles now, Xbox One, PS4, and of course, like they're saying some games were at 720p and upscaled to 1080. Like, oh, that was last gen, blah blah blah. A lot of these dumbasses didn't know that more than half the games that came out on PS3 and 360 last gen were upscaled to 720. They weren't native. So it's like, move it or lose it. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, they only cared about it when it suits their narrative. Like the narrative changes. Yeah. Okay, like me, right? Crap gamer, you don't play games, right? You hide your achievements, but I don't hide my gamer score. It's almost 130,000, right? Like anybody can go look at that. It's like that's relatively high, and I play a lot of multiplayer games. Like I'm a multiplayer guy, so a lot of multiplayer games, especially Call of Duty, doesn't offer online achievements. There are some relatively ones in Gears, but not like a shit ton. So it's like the narrative changes. So when somebody was arguing with me about that this morning, and they're like, "Well, you're not a gamer, you blah blah blah." I'm like, "But I have more gamer score than you," and they're like, "Yeah, but you don't complete your games." I'm like, do you complete every single game you start? Like, honestly, like the narrative will change no matter what. And it's like, you get hit with that realism that people will change it to be whatever it is. Like, look, 900p to 1080p, not a big deal, but it was like the end of the world that the Xbox One game version was 900p, right? So how is that so bad? But then when the Scorpio releases and they're going to have games running native 4K versus like 1400 or 1800p on PS4 Pro, and every game, multiple devs have said this, every game multiplat is going to be better, run better, look better on Scorpio than PS4 or PS4 Pro. That's just a fucking fact, right? But, what the narrative is going to change. You're going to have Digital Foundry already saying that the pixel count doesn't matter as much.
Oh, fuck.
If you stand back across the street, you know what I mean, and turn to the side and squint, you can't tell. Yeah, you can't tell the difference. So, I mean, you can see the narrative change. But at the end of the day, I think that the Scorpio is going to have a clear difference. And Phil, who's not a cocky guy, he's even said, you're going to see a difference, demonstrable difference on Scorpio against any other console version. And that's what I'm interested in.
I like how a lot of people are still saying how the Scorpio won't launch with any games. There are still people treating this Scorpio like it's a next-gen console. Yeah.
Well, that's what their fan base. That's what the fan base and the people like from I Love PS crowd. That's what they've been trying to explain to their to the fan base, is that this can't be like the PlayStation Pro. and when people this is what really cracks me up more than anything, is that when they talk about the Scorpio, either it's going to be in the same realm of the Pro, or it's got to be next gen. And that's not the case. The PlayStation Pro was a failure, and now it's gotten so serious for them, is that they're already talking about PlayStation 5. And if they did bring out PlayStation 5 in 2018, what does that say to the people that bought a PlayStation Pro? I mean, what would that say to them? Like, you're just throwing shit on the wall and hoping that it sticks. That's all you're doing. Because even if they brought it out this time, it still wouldn't even, it would still be on par with the Scorpio, even if they made it at 10 teraflops, because I think that this thing can get up to 10 teraflops. So that it would just be a waste of time. It would, milk the cow. You have a successful product, bring out a powerful system that's comparable, and give your fan base time to breathe, and have it come out in 2019, 2020. Do not bring out the PlayStation 5 in 2018.
The PS4.
Do you guys think? I was talking to Sirens Heather about this, my wife, and so let's say we can pretty much assume Scorpio will do native 4K 60 frames, 1080 60, 1080 30, 4K 30, etc. What would be the point, I guess, in needing another console after that? I mean, because we were talking about like PC console, like, okay, they just came out with the new 1080 Ti, so it's only 35% faster, not this dramatic. Where's the point where it's like, listen, you guys, our console can already achieve 4K 60. Why make another hardware revision?
Yeah.
I'm like thinking future wise. I mean, do you think at the end
of the day, engines become more demanding, but again, resolution doesn't give us better graphics. You know what I mean?
You're right. I mean, more processes, better ambient effects. I see what you mean. Yeah.
I asked this question on Twitter. I said, are we ever going to see straight up new generations from? I mean, we'll get a PS5, sure, but I have a feeling that the PS4 Pro and the PS4 regular are still going to play PS5 games, just downscaled version. Yeah, just like the Xbox One, thanks to UWP. And Ken Lobb talked about this in a little bit of an interview too. He's like, it's so easy to do. It's just you push a button and it's like, boom, that version comes out. Then you have this version and it's getting 4K assets or whatever, So like, we might not get a version of another Xbox that's only going to have exclusives that can't be played on anything else. Like, that's good for developers, because developers then don't have to abandon the user base. Just look at how developers probably, that's why the 360 and PS3 era will be looked at such a good thing, because it lasted so long. Developers could put out their games and a lot of them were thriving. You know what I mean? And then you cut them off and then you release these new consoles, and basically the hardcore who buy those games jump to the new consoles and they're like, okay, but it's less sales overall and these games are getting more and more expensive. So it's really kind of a difficult kind of catch-22 for these people. But yeah, I think that it's bad for the industry. Like, if they start doing this arms race with consoles, right? Like every 2 years fucking releasing consoles, that's not going to end well. Just look at the Pro. It's not really selling extremely
I haven't heard shit about it.
Have you ever released any numbers for it?
Not really. They said that it's
not even. It wasn't even.
I haven't heard a damn thing about it.
They say it's on track. Shout out to Def Jam Bam, man, on track with that PS4 Pro and the PSVR. But
pallets.
Yeah, they got bunches and bunches of pallets. Like, look, the PS4. The PS4 is an unmitigated success. Like, it is. They just for multiple reasons, Microsoft screwed themselves with a lot of things. The $100 price point, Force Kinect, it was less expensive.
Yeah, that $500 was good.
Look, not only that,
I
I did too. Look, the Kinect cost as much as the base console itself. If you would have cut out the Kinect and just focus more on the power, you would have had a beast right from the start, and then different generations. So, Yeah, so like they can rectify this stuff.
Don Matrick, that's G's boy.
Man,
Did
that
you
was
guys?
a fucking scramble then, man.
I don't know if you guys ever seen this because I know like Z, you're like Donnie D, man. He wouldn't have let this happen.
Donnie D.
But if you look into this, right, like Halo, we were going to get a Halo MMO that Microsoft had invested $90 million into a Halo MMO. 90 million was the budget, and this was during the Bomber era, Matrick era, right? They invested $90 million. This game was getting made. It wasn't being made by Bungie. They were kind of assisting, but it was like this other team. And this was going to be Microsoft's World of Warcraft. They were making.
I didn't even hear about this.
Yes, they were specifically. Yeah. You can find this type of stuff, information on like the internet and stuff. But it's like, and you can read about it. It's interesting. $90 million invested in this product. It was going to be their World of Warcraft. They wanted a game to compete against World of Warcraft. They had started development on it. It was going to have different factions and races and things like that. It was going to be their World of Warcraft, and it was supposed to be like this huge thing. Around this time, Don Matrick noticed that the Wii sales were incredible, and that was when they abandoned that in favor of Kinect games. So yeah, they went instead of putting a Halo. Instead of a Halo MMO, which could have been fucking phenomenal, and who knows how many people would have been loving that. They had a $90 million budget, right? And
I wonder if that would have turned out. I mean, maybe because of the name Halo. You guys remember Huxley?
Yeah, I remember Huxley.
That was supposed to come out. That was supposed to be the first like MMO FPS, but then that got squashed.
Yeah, there were so many games, and then it was like the team that was doing that. I think it was.
Hello?
Was that Bizarre Creations?
Yeah, your mic went out. I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever did the first Halo Wars, I don't remember who the hell it was.
Ensemble Studios.
Yeah, Ensemble Studios, right?
Ensemble.
They were supposedly working on part of this, and then it got canceled, so they did Halo Wars, and then they got their studio closed down by Don Matrick. So, yeah. So yeah,
Donnie D.
Donnie D.
Funny how you call it Donnie D.
Donnie D's a legend, man.
No, man, he was a legend, all right. A legend at making us buy Kinect games and shit. Hey, you want? Hey, let's have a great E3 by having this little kid up on stage with this.
That shit was corny.
Oh man!
Hey, listen, it ain't no worse than my man with the ID Xbox shirt. That weirdo on stage talking about indie games for a half hour.
Donnie D.
Yeah.
So
he's like, hey, I think that Donnie D, he was good at making money, but obviously he didn't have gamers' ideals at heart, so that was always going to be a problem. And that was my biggest problem, was he was focusing a lot on Kinect. He had a lot of studios built up for Kinect, which now have all been closed down. So I mean, I would have much rather had another Fable, a Fable 4, as opposed to Fable or what the hell was that damn Fable that Fable the Journey? Mm-hmm. Well, Fable the Journey.
Oh yeah.
I mean that was started off as the idea for Fable 4, and then it was like everything had to be Kinect based. There was going to be a Kinect top-down shooter Gears. Yeah.
Yes.
I would have loved. I'm not Kinect enabled, but it would have been awesome to have a top-down shooter Gears of War for me, story-wise, to see how it would play out.
Like an arcade type thing, I could dig it, but like they were like just everything connect,
Yeah, he even had a game that was canceled that was Splinter Cell meets Metal Gear Solid, and he shot it down. He stopped development of it. So you know what?
Wait, was that the intro before it turned into the Coalition? Was that the game?
You know what? I don't know if it was the Black Tusk game. Yes, it could have been the Black Tusk game. I have no idea, but I was reading the same thing about the Halo MMO, and it was that game. And I was like, you talk about Splinter Cell meets Metal Gear Solid? That sounds fire. You turn it down. They said, hey, Donnie D, we got an idea for you. We have a game that Zaire would love. What do you think about that? Ain't nobody got time for that. So he said, fuck it, we want connectables. So I said, you know what? You keep running on that man's motherfucking coattails. He's the one that got Xbox in that crazy ass position this generation.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Why not just singing Kumbaya?
Yeah, but
at least Phil Spencer turned it around though. At least Phil Spencer turned the ship around, man. Because it was.
We're gonna see.
Hey, he stopped the leak, man. He stopped the leak, man. It was the Xbox division was turning in the beginning in that first year. It almost was looking like they were going down with the Titanic, Jack. It was looking bad.
At least,
I want to know the conversations Phil has with like Satya. I mean, Satya and Nutella, he's of course looking over everything Microsoft, and I know Phil has said that he looks at the Xbox brand as a big part of Microsoft. But I just really want to know like the conversation, like if it's just him and Nutella, like man, it would be so intimidating because to me, I mean, Xbox is a huge brand inside of Microsoft, but I don't know. I just sometimes feel like Nutella would be like, okay, what do you got to show for me today before I kick you out of my room? You know what I'm saying? Like, you better show me something good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Minecraft, that makes them a shit ton of money.
Oh, what are you talking about? That game, there's too much money. They're not going to make any money off that.
Oh, they make that's like doubled the sales since they bought it, and it sold 20 million on Xbox 360, and people said it was stupid for them to get a year of timed exclusivity on it, right? Like 20 million. It's the best-selling Xbox 360 game. 20 million. That's fucking impressive as hell.
We're making all their money back.
Yeah, so
they are, man. That's a lot.
And another thing with the PlayStation 5, for those guys that's bringing that up, it would hurt Sony tremendously because they would have to put more money into making that console be just as powerful as the Scorpio or even more powerful, and that's going to cut back on games. I mean, just think about the first 3 years of the PlayStation 4 and what you guys had to go through. Just think of what that would be like if the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 came out next year. It would be abysmal. They would be all about the indies again.
I tell you what, man, Sony as a whole, like a lot of people don't understand, like, yeah, the gaming division is making some profit, but man, Sony is bleeding fucking money as a whole. Like, they are not doing well. I'm surprised they still have a phone business, aka I'm still surprised Microsoft still has a phone business, but eventually Sony's just going to go down to just PlayStation department. I mean, yeah, they make some movies and stuff like that, but a lot of people need to understand, like, the PlayStation department cannot hold that company up by itself.
What was Sony's last movie?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know. I will say I like The Interview. That was a Sony movie.
Oh, that was a funny movie. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what?
Ghostbusters. I think Ghostbusters was the last movie.
Oh, dude, they lost like 70 million off that movie. Thank God. Stupid.
Well, yeah, it is fun.
I didn't get a chance to see it though.
I didn't see
it.
Actually,
it wasn't bad. I just have to say this,
you
right?
saw it, crap.
Not at the theater. I did see it, and I have
rent
to say,
it.
Did
you pay for it?
I did not pay for it. I will say that. Okay, so yeah, I watched it, and I have to say this. And then like this is what we'll end the show on, because I had to get out of here by 9:30, so we're wrapping it up. But with that movie, you had two different people. You had feminists say, "Oh, and people just hate it because it's women," and then which wasn't really the case. So you had like feminists kind of attacking people for that, and then on the other side, you had people just not liking it because they replaced the originals or whatever. To me, I thought it was a funny movie. Like, I didn't pay any attention to what like one side or the other was saying. I was just like, hey, it was pretty funny. It wasn't bad. It wasn't nearly as bad as what people were trying to make it out to be. So with that being, go ahead.
So my biggest thing with that is Dan Aykroyd for many years tried to, before Harold Ramis passed away, many years tried to get a third movie going, and Bill Murray was having a hard time wanting to do it. Except he just tried. Somebody who's closest to the source material. The movie company said no, come back again next year. And then Kevin Feige comes and said, hey, I got the story. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's do it. What? You have somebody who's closest to the source material. You're not gonna fuck whatever. That was a movie rant.
Well, the game on 360 ended up being the third Ghostbusters movie, in my opinion. It was really good. So it's backwards compatible if you guys haven't played it. We're gonna go ahead and get the hell out of here. Mason, you kicked ass tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys joined. Had fun. Thank you.
You talked a lot. You don't know how many times we bring people in and they just sit there like a lump on a fucking log and don't say shit. Like, or there until you jumped right in. You had a strong opinions, man. Appreciate it. K Mega, otherwise known as L Mega. What do you got going on, bro?
Man, you know what? I got the multiplayer where it is all podcasters therapy session, because we just let it all out. Friday nights we got GRG podcast. The next podcast on Xbox channel, and then we do it again on Sunday doing BGST. Man, come check out my channel, K Mega 45, and check me out on Twitter. Give me a shout out at K Mega 4.
I just want to say, it's also nice. This is my first time speaking with K Mega and Zaire. I always see you guys on the podcast stuff, and it was a pleasure talking with you guys. I appreciate it.
Oh man, no doubt, you did great. I mean, until you was talking about that kumbaya shit. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you was cool, bro. You was cool.
Yeah. We were looking for a devil's advocate, a Worry Wart-esque type person, and he actually did that extremely well. Z, do you got anything going on, man? You're gonna hopefully feel better.
I'm suffering from some flu-like symptoms, and it burns when I pee.
That might be something else.
Yeah.
And me, as always, man, I got like content dropping nonstop. So just like a million videos. Yeah, so go ahead and go.
We had 500 people today. Thank you,
dude. It's incredible. And shout out Tim Dog. He was busy working at Xbot. Was at PAX, so that's why he wasn't here tonight.
Yeah, undercover. But we catch you guys.
He said undercover. He said undercover.
No, he said undercover. This is a panda.
And we'll catch you guys next week, man. Thanks for watching, man. BGST.